I was sitting with an aging woman, and she was just talking about all of these little daily losses that she's experiencing. She was talking about how she can't drive anymore. Cooking is hard. She has a hard time remembering, and she's just running through these things that hurt. And she stopped, and she looked at me, and she said, "No. Other people have it so much worse." And so I paused for a second, and I said, "Does that make you feel better to say other people have it worse?" And I knew her well enough to know she's going to think about that, and she's going to answer me honestly. And so she looked down for a minute, and then she looked up, and there were tears in her eyes. And she said, "No. Now I just feel guilty and sad." You know, guilt and grief don't sit well together. It's a terrible combination. God didn't invent the suffering Olympics, where you have to have the worst case of pain for your pain to matter. And one of the things that I want to say, and I know this is confrontational, and I know some of you will receive it and some of you won't. We as Christians, we love to downgrade our feelings. And I really feel like lots of us should get medals for minimizing. That's what she did. She has real pain about real things. And she's expressing that pain. And then she says, "I don't feel like I'm supposed to say that. I don't feel like I'm supposed to acknowledge that that just hurts." And so she cushions it with this thing that so many of us have said, where she says, "Other people have it worse." But then she's honest enough to say, "Honestly, that just makes me feel guilty." And this is something I just want you to know. If you have a pain in you today that's huge or is tiny, if it's weighing on your soul, God cares. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how little it is. There's not a certain level that you have to reach where suddenly it matters to God. It matters to God if it bothers you.